to print the odd numbers between 30 and say a random number 90. Okay, so your task is to print the odd numbers between 30 and 90. How do you go about it? So you know that you need to run a loop between 30 and 90, right? That's clear. And what do you need to check inside the loop? What do you check? Whether the number is odd or the number is even, right? If the number is odd, you'll print it. If the number is even, you don't do anything about it. So it's clear. The idea is clear, right? Are you guys with me? Can you try it yourself? I shall give you 2 minutes to try it yourself and tell me who all completed it. If you have completed, just put complete in chat so that I'll know how many of you could do it and complete it, right? So just try it. I'll give you 2 minutes. That's all it should take to do that program. So I shall stop presenting and write the answer here. Try, think hard. You'll be able to do it, I'm sure. I've given you the idea, right? I think the idea is pretty clear. Okay, very good. 2 of you have completed. What about the others? Okay, so Rahul, can you share your screen? Okay. Okay, so for those of you who haven't got it, this is the answer to it. Okay. Okay, so shall we go with the next question? I need you to be active so that we can do as many questions as we can. Okay. So shall I move to the next question? Can I get some answers in the chat? Also, you'll have so many coding questions and answers if you just refer and find out. So getting questions and solutions wouldn't be a problem. The problem is that you need to find out time to go and practice C programming on a consistent basis, right? Okay, so I'll give you the next question. This we'll do it together, okay? Because I'm really not sure whether you are comfortable with looping programs, as I cannot see much comments here. Okay, so let me give you the next question. The next question is this. Write a program in C to display the multiplication table vertically from 1 to n. Write a program in C to display the multiplication table vertically from 1 to n. So you know what it means, right? So in the first line, what should it print? Say I'm asking you the multiplication table of 5. So what should it print? The output should be like this. In the first line, it should be 1 into 5 equal to 5. Then in the next line, it should be 2 into 5 equal to 10. Then in the next line, it should be 3 into 5 equal to 15 and so on. So where should it end? So you have to ask the user till which number you have to print, right? And print it till that number. Is that fine for you? Is the question clear? Do you want me to repeat the question before we go to the solution? Do you want me to repeat? Okay, no. So I assume that the others also have got a clear idea of the question. So I'm going to the solution. Okay, so the question is this: write a C program to display the multiplication table of a given number. Right, so what do we do? So I know that I need to input the number, the limit, that is till what I have to print. Then there might be a looping variable that's required, right? This is all I know for now. We'll see what we want as we go, okay? So definitely ask the user input the number, scan it to number, right? So scanf %d ampersand num. Okay, now again ask the user to enter the limit, right? And scan it to limit. So enter the limit. Scan it to limit. Now, what do we need to do? We have got the limit, we have got the number. Now you need to print the output, right? So what do we do? I'm sure that all of you might have understood we need to use a loop here, right? And from where do we start the loop? Where do we end it? That's something that you need to be clear about. Next thing is, what statement do you give inside the loop? Right? These two things are the things that need to be in your mind. So what is the limit? So here I've mentioned that we need to run the loop from I equal to 1 till the limit, right? We are not printing. If you want, you can print 0 into the number, whichever the number is. Say it's 5. So 0 into 5 equal to 0. If you want, you can do that. Otherwise, just leave it. We'll start from 1. That's your wish. Okay, so we need to print the output from 1 into that number to limit into the number, right? That's why I have taken the numbers as 1 to limit. I hope this is clear, why I wrote the condition like this and why I initialized I to 1. Okay, that's the reason why I've initialized I to 1 and I've wrote the condition in this format. Okay, so what do you give inside the loop? Printf. Be careful about this, right? %d in inverted commas star %d equal to %d, right? And in the first %d, you need to print I. In the second, in place of second %d, you need to print num. In place of third %d, you need to print I into num. Hope that's clear. At never forget to put a slash in because they have told you need to print it vertically, right? I hope we are done. Let's just check whether we have some errors or not. Aha. What's the error there? Did we forget some semicolon here?
Ma'am, variable number na declare cheyadekna but
okay. Don't call me ma'am, just address me by my name. It's num over here, right? I num. Anything else that you are able to make out? Okay. We didn't comment it. Okay. I mean, I'll input 5. I'll enter the limit as 7. See? We got it, right? Did you get the output? This was the output that I told. You can play around with the output, and also you can make changes here to know what happens when you make errors and what are the different things that you'll see, right? So did you get the question and the answer? Are you clear with this? Okay, we'll go to the next. I need you to do one more program. Shall we do a pattern printing program? Shall we do a pattern printing program? That would be interesting, I guess. And with that, we'll stop here. Okay, we'll do one more program on HackerRank on looping statements, and we'll wind up there. Okay. So come quickly. We'll finish it off by 8, and after that we need to start functions and pointers. Those are also interesting topics and very important ones. Without that, I cannot imagine winding up the bootcamp. So we need to do that too. Okay, so this is our last question. Okay. So this is the question. Pattern printing. I'll put a multi-line comment. The pattern goes like this. It's a simple pattern, right? Okay, this is the pattern you need to print. Let me close the multi-line comment. Okay. So is the pattern clear? Shall we start with the question? Okay, I'm starting with the question. So you see, when there are 5 rows given, right, you start with 1, then you print 1 and 2, then you print 1, 2, and 3, and then you end with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it's 6 given, you start with 1, then you print 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, so on till 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, what do you need to do here? You know that to print 6 lines, you need an outer for loop consisting of 6 iterations, right? But how do you go about printing each of the numbers in the horizontal line? Like 1, 2, it becomes, first it's 1, it's 1, 2, then it's 1, 2, 3. How do you go about it? See, the outer for loop is easy. The outer for loop, according to the number given, you just write I equal to 0, I less than or equal, I equal to 1, I less than or equal to num, I plus plus, right? What about the inner for loop? How will you run the inner for loop? That is my question. That is, running the inner for loop means, why are you running the inner for loop? The inner for loop is run to print the horizontal lines. I hope you get me. Running the inner for loop the first time should give you 1. Running the inner for loop the second time should give you 1 and 2. Running the inner for loop the third time should give you 1, 2, and 3, and so on. Did something strike you? Did something strike you there? Running the inner for loop once, first time should give you 1. Running the inner for loop second time should give you 1, 2. Running the inner for loop third time should give you 1, 2, and 3. So it's according, the same number is being printed here, right? So that's the logic. I'll code and tell you so it will be more clear. We'll input the number as in how many number of rows is it that you need. So I think we'll input it as row so that it's clearer for you, right? So printf percentage, enter the number of rows, scan it to rows, percentage d ampersand. Okay. Now the outer for loop is clear. It's the number of rows. So for I equal to 1, I less than or equal to row, I plus plus, right? Now, what do you need to do again? Here is the twist coming in, right? You know what? If you can visualize this, see, the first time you come into this for loop, what you need to do is you need to print just 1, right? So when i's value is 1, you need to print 1. When the second time you enter this for loop, you need to print 1 and 2. So when i's value is 2, you need to print 1 and 2. Similarly, the third time you enter this loop, you need to print 1, 2 and 3. That means when i's value is 3, you need to print 1, 2 and 3. So that means you need to define a for loop wherein the value will iterate from 1 to whatever is i's value till that value. I hope this is clear. And what do you need to do inside this for loop? What will you do inside this for loop? You'll just print j, right? That's all what you're doing. Okay, now there is one important thing you need to be doing here. That is, before you come out of this outer for loop, what do you need to do? You need to just print new line. That's because, see, we need to come to the new line after you print 1, right? Come to the new line after you print 1 and 2. So after you print each row, you need to come to the next line. Essentially, after one iteration of the outer loop, what you're doing is you're printing a new row, right? So after you finish the after you complete one iteration of the outer loop, you need to print /n. I hope that's also clear. So I've tried to make it as clear as possible. Now what you need to do is you need to go sit by yourself, go over each statement and just try to make out yourself what each statement is doing, like we did the other day, right? So shall we try this? I hope everything is fine. Include I and J here.
Hello?
Yes?
You forgot to put one curly bracket on the second for loop.
Yeah, I didn't put it because this is a single statement, right? So if you want, you can put the curly braces, or otherwise you can leave it. Because if it's a single statement, definitely it will come inside the for loop. Only for multiple statements, or if there is a block of statement, you need to include it within the braces. I hope I've made myself clear. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And again, please don't call me ma'am. You can always address me by my name. Feel free to address me by my name, okay? Let me just reload this. Okay. See, we got the output, right? Have all of you got this? I've tried to make myself as clear as possible, but I don't know whether you have got this concept. Do you want me to explain it again? See, pattern printing is a little this is one of the most easy questions in pattern printing, right? So it's a little difficult in the beginning. It's a little overwhelming. Okay, that's a good question. See, you're going into what happens, right? That's what you need to do. Always play with, Rahul had asked, I think you've seen in the chats, ഒന്നിൻ്റെ രണ്ടിൻ്റെ അടുത്തുള്ള സ്പേസ് ഇൻക്രീസ് ചെയ്യാൻ എന്താ ചെയ്യേണ്ടതെന്ന്. സി that's what you need to do. Go inside the statements, see what each statement is doing, and play with the codes. So here, see, each iteration here actually prints number by number. That is, in the first iteration of this loop, this inner loop will be doing this, that is just printing 1. In the second iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop, that is this loop, will be printing 1 first, and after that 2. So if you want to increase the space between these numbers, you need to increase the space here. Okay, run it, you'll see. See, this gap increased, right? I hope I've answered your question. Is that clear? Rahul, are you clear? Okay. So what Rahul had asked is a good question. Why I say that is because you need to always play with the codes, play with the statements, see what happens when you change it, alter it, see what errors you get, see how you can rectify them, and then you'll get a clear idea about the codes and their working. So with that, I end this, and now we'll go to HackerRank. So quickly log into HackerRank. Okay, so I've logged in. I hope you too have. So today I want you to do a medium question which will fetch you 25 points. Okay, so far I think we have done only simple questions in HackerRank. About a lot of things. So shall we start? Are you excited? Are you excited? Have you taken this problem called digit frequency in HackerRank? Okay, shall we get started? So those of you who have taken it, just go through the task given. What is it that you have to really do? It's a little challenging, but very interesting, quite interesting, right? Just go through the question, go through the task, what is the input format given, and what is it that you need to output, right? The question is actually pretty simple. So shall we go ahead? Okay, so I'll explain the task. I hope all of you have taken it. So the thing is simple. You're given a string like this, okay? You're given a string like this. What you need to do is, you need to print how many times each digit occurs in this string, okay? That is, see, given a sample input string like this, we need to output a sample output like this, okay? So this means that 0 occurs 0 times in the string, 1 occurs 2 times in the string, right? 1 occurs 2 times, right? One over here and the other over here. Then again, 2 occurs time in the string, right? I can only see 2 over here in the string. 3 occurs, again 3 occurs 0 times, I cannot see 3 anywhere. 4 occurs 1 time, that's over here. 5 occurs 1 time, yeah, we can spot it here. 6 occurs once, yeah, at the last. 7 over here in the middle. 8 and 9, we cannot see it here. Okay, it's not there in the string. So that's the sample input and the output. I think the question is really clear. You just need to know how to code it and sort it out, right? This is again a large input, so you can just make it out and see that the output you get will be this. Right, so is the question clear? Given a string, you need to output how many times each digit occurs there. Is that fine? Okay. So we'll start coding, right? Again, it's a little challenging, but definitely we'll try how to do this. So I'm going to input the string using the getters function. So input it into string. Okay. So now I've got the string in this variable. Okay. I've got the string in this variable. So I'll just initialize the variable. There is a problem while initialization. The thing is that you need to look how much space should you reserve there. So for that, you need to check the constraints. It says that it tells us to input it as num, but never bother. It's your wish to use which name you want to give. But make sure that you check the constraints so that you can give whatever number they've given there as the maximum number that the string needs to store. So what it means is that, what this statement means is that you have defined a character string that can hold the maximum of 1000 characters. And why I've given 1000 characters is because it gives us the constraint that the length shall be between 1 and 1000. So we have given the maximum as 1000. So that's clear. So we have input the string to this variable that we have reserved here, to the character string that we have reserved here. So we have the string with us. Now what is it that we need to do next? We have the string. What is it that we need to do? We need to iterate the string, right? So for that, I need a variable to iterate it. So for I equal to 0, string of I not equal to /0, right? I plus plus. Okay, is that clear? What do we do inside this? So here essentially what we are doing is we are trying to iterate over each character in the string, starting from the first character. So what do I need to do? I need to check whether each character is a digit or not, right? I need to check whether each character is a digit or not. If it is a digit, what I'll do is I'll create an integer array, and corresponding to the digit, I'll increment the block in the array. So I'll create an integer array which will be holding the corresponding frequency of the numbers from 0 to 9. If I could just show that to you, just a second. Just a second, I'll share my screen from this. Okay, so am I audible? And is my screen visible for you? Am I audible, guys? Okay. Okay, so what I told is this. See, suppose you're given a string, a simple string like this, okay? We've input this from the user to a character string whose name is string. Okay, so we've input it. And as you know, in C, for a string array, the last will be definitely /0. So this is how your string will be there in the memory, right? Now what they've told us is to identify the characters from this, to identify the digits from this. In this case, it would be these, and output the digit frequency. That means we have to output how many times how many times all the digits from 0 to 9 occurs. So the idea that I have here is, it's your wish which idea to use. What came up in my mind was, I'll declare an integer array, okay? I'll declare an integer array of 10 integers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay? Arrays are always indexed from 0. I hope you're aware of it, right? So these are the indices that you have. Now, what I will do is, I will traverse the string. That means I will go through each of the characters in the string and I'll check whether it is a digit or not. So I can do that by using the isDigit function in C. So what the isDigit function does is, it checks whether a character is a digit or not. So I'll traverse, as I told, over the string. So I'll first go to A and check whether it's a digit or not. Since it's not a digit, I have nothing much to do. So I'll go to 1 and check whether it's a digit or not. Yes, it's a digit. So what I'll do is, corresponding to 1, I will increment 1 in my integer array. So initially my array should all be initialized to 0. I hope you get this. And corresponding to whichever number, I will increment it by 1. So I can check the number using index. I hope you get my logic. Now I'll go to the next number. It's again 1, right? So it's again a digit. I'll increment corresponding to that number in the integer array. Now I'll go to the next character. Again, check whether it's a digit. It is a digit. It is 0. So corresponding to that index, I'll increment 1. Now coming to the next character, it is again a digit. So corresponding to that index, I'll increment 1. Now coming to the next, it's again a digit. Corresponding to that, I'll increment 1. And coming to the last, it's again a digit. Corresponding to that, I'll increment 1. And finally, I'll output my integer array in the format they need it. So finally, it will look something like this: 1, 1, 1, and 1. No, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, and 0. I hope it's clear. Did you get the idea? Do you want me to explain it again? Did you get the idea? Do you want me to explain it again? Can I have some response in the chat? If you want me to explain it again, it's okay. It's your first medium level question in HackerRank for most of you. Okay, so it might sound a little hard. If you want, I can go over it again. If you're good with it, we'll go and code the rest. What do you want me to do? Are you good to go? Are you all there? Can I have your responses? Okay, so I'm going to the code again. So here I'll check whether it's a digit or not. So isDigit is the function that you use in C. IsDigit of string of I. Okay, so if this is true, if this function returns true, that means if it's a digit, then what do you need to do? What do you need to do? You need to increment the corresponding number, right? You need to increment the corresponding number in the integer array. So I'm declaring an integer array int, say frequency, so free of 10, right? So freq of this number, this string of I. Plus plus. So one thing that you need to do is you need to initialize this to 0. So you can simply do it by putting this 0 there, right? I think that's pretty much it. Now, if you print, you must be getting the answer. Let's check whether there are any errors or not. So what do you need to print? Again, you need to print all the values in this array, right? So you're practically printing the array frequency. So just print the array for I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Printf. percentage D space rate of I. Okay. Let's check whether we are running into any errors. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Should come here, right? I'm really sorry. Int I comma frequency of 10 equal to. Okay. Ah, so there is something wrong over there. Let's just print and check whether we have got the correct answer in string. So this is an important thing that you need to develop. Okay, that's the debugging skill. Now that we have got the output like this, it's a little strange, right? So just check whether you have got the correct string. Okay, so this string is right, but nothing has actually come into your array, right? The string is input. The string is input in the correct manner, but nothing has come into the integer array. So that's the problem. So just check where you have exactly got the problem and diagnose it right. So you know where we have got wrong. It's here that we have got wrong, because string of I is a digit, but the problem is that the digit is in character form. Okay, the digit is not in integer form; it's in character form. So you need to when you're giving it here, you need to first convert it into character, and then you need to first convert it into integer and give it there. So how do you convert a character to integer in C? How do you do that? Any idea that you have? I've told it yesterday. Can you give me any idea? Any idea popping up in your mind? See, have you just got it here? Can you see it here? Are you all there? Can you see it here? Int a equal to c minus 0. Can you please give me a reply? Can I get a reply from you guys? Did you understand the screenshot that I've showed you, like subtracted it from 0? That's what you essentially need to do. So just Google what you are not able to get. You know what's the meaning of this? Again, the same error. So what we'll do is we'll just we're getting it right. Yes. Okay, I'll just find out the length of this. STR. Length. Just remove this. Again, it's the same error. Just try to debug. This is how you learn. Again, it's a very important skill that you need to develop, right? So that's okay. So the length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so the length is right. Now we'll check. How many times is it coming here, right? We'll just print %d, comma, string of I. Okay. And we'll run, sorry, it should be %c, right? Since it's character. For the time being, I'll just comment this. Again, it's the same. Any idea, guys? Just flash your ideas. Yeah, we'll do it together. It's a simple problem. I've done it before too, but I don't know why I'm running into error today. We'll just check it again. We've input the string. We have found the length of the string. Okay. Then from I equal to 0, I less than or equal to length, I less than or equal to I plus plus, this digit string of I, then now it's just that it's not getting there, right? Let me just give it like this. Let me give this in a separate digit plus plus. It's still 0. So that means 0 means it's not entering into this if condition. That's the meaning. Let me just print a 1 here, okay? Randomly print any string here and check whether it's coming here. So see, these are all important tips that you need to learn when you debug. So it's not going there. That's the problem. So what's happening then? For I equal to 0, I less than length, I plus plus. If is digit of string of I. This digit is not recognized here. Yes, that's the problem. So is digit is actually there in C type .h. Now let's just run it and see. Still not working. So I'll do one thing. I'll just check whether it's the problem of this compiler, right? We'll just do it in our native compiler. No, I mean in the online compiler and see. No, you're getting the same answer, so there's something wrong. Let me just check what's wrong. Yes, I think we missed a for loop there. Yes. So it was just a misplacement of the braces, right? Let's just paste it there. Yeah. I'm just submitting and trying out whether all are done. Okay, so it was just the misplacement of the loop braces that we got stuck there. So be careful. Have you got this? Are you all there? Do you want me to explain it and go all over again? Shall I go to the next one? So this might have fetched you 25 points, I guess. So now I'm going to explain functions and pointers, right? So as usual, we'll just have a little of theory. We'll come here, go all over the codes again, do some problems, and get started with functions. So let me share the tutorial that we had yesterday, right? So we had gone over all of this, right? Yeah, we'll go to functions. So what is functions? Functions are nothing but a group of statements that allow you to do a particular task, right? So these statements that together perform a task are clubbed together, given a name, and that's all what a function is. So let's check what goes into defining a function, declaring it, calling a function, what are the different kinds of functions that you have. And let me inform you that main is also a function, and you have been using it since you started coding in C, right? Okay, so let's go over and check how do you define a function. So this is the syntax of a function, right? You have the return type here. In the beginning, I'll tell you what a return type is. You give the function name here. Then what are the parameters that you give into the function is written here. The body of the function is defined within the braces, and that is exactly defining a function. Now, what is the return type? What is a function name? What are the parameters? All those we'll be going over. And I think I'll give you a program. We'll do a program together. And from there, I'll tell you what a return type is, what is a function name, what are the parameters, and all those, what is a function called, how do you pass the parameters, and how do you take a result from the function, and all of those, right? Okay, so we'll go through a simple question. I'll tell you the question. So for now, we'll go to the online compiler again. Okay, it's a simple question. It is to find the area of a circle given a radius. Okay, so you will be given a radius. The user will input a radius, and you will need to find the area of that circle and print it as the output to the user. So it is a simple problem, right? But we'll be, for the sake of learning how the function works, we'll be doing it by using a separate function to find the area of the circle. I hope it's clear. So what will you be wanting here? You'll be wanting a variable called rad to accept the radius, right? Ask the user for the radius. So printf printf enter the radius. Scan the radius to rad, scanf %d ampersand rad, right? Now, you got the radius. Now, if it was a simple program, you would have just wrote a statement to calculate the area, and you would have printed the output to the user. Now here, that's not what we are going to do. What we are going to do is, we are going to be defining a function here that returns the radius to the point where it's called, and we'll be printing the returned result to the user. So the function should return the area as the result, and the returned result should be printed to the user. I hope it's clear. So what will be the area in? If even if the radius is an integer, you know pi is 3.14, which is a float value. So the area should also be in float, right? So that's the return type area. I'll be explaining it further. Give the name, give the function any name that you want, okay? And what do you require to be passing from the main? Like, what is the parameter that you should pass from the main in order to calculate the area? That's the radius, right? So whatever you're passing from the main, there should be a variable to catch it. So that's what I'm defining here. I hope it's clear. We are writing the function definition. Again, I'm reminding you. So here is the definition that we are going to write. What is the definition? It's nothing but the calculation of area, right? So declare a variable called area. It should be in float. Float area. Area equal to 3.14 into rad. You can also define 3.14 as a constant and name it pi. That's your wish. And then return it, right? So return area. So see, whatever value you return, it will be returned to the place where this area function is called. So I'm going to call this area function, okay, by passing the value radius. So this is the function call. So wherever this function is called, I told you the answer will be returned. So I need something here to catch the answer, right? So the answer will be assigned to the variable result. The variable result is float, don't forget it. And yes, print the result. I think that's it. Let's see how it works. Percentage F area. Let's see whether you get it. To make it more readable, you can say the area is, let's check. Okay, we are running into some error. Okay, it's radius here. Five. Okay, there is something wrong. What is wrong here?
Ma'am, print ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് result അല്ല.
There is something wrong here. So just try to print area over here. Okay, the problem is that area is defined there and you need to be printing the result here, right? You'll get it right. Okay, you got the answer. So that was the, that's again a question that you can be asked in the exams. That is, these are all local variables that we define. That is, outside this function, you cannot be using area. Whatever you have returned and assigned it to result. Result is the local variable of main, and that variable can only be used in main. So that's a lesson that you learn from here, right? That was the error that we got, and that's how we rectified it. So I hope you've got a glimpse of how to use the function, what is the function definition, how do you call a function, how do you pass parameters to a function, how do you write statements in a function and return the result that you need. Am I clear with all of this? Let me just go all over it once again. This is the function definition that you have. So whenever you write a function definition, this is the syntax that you need to follow. If you're returning any data type, write the data type that you're returning there. Since I'm returning area and area is a float data type, I write float here. You get me? If you're not returning anything, simply write void there. That's why some people give void main and never return anything. So main function also works this way, right? I didn't go all over it in depth because I wanted you to know more about functions and go into all these concepts. So that's the return type that you define. Write the name of the function that you give here. Always make sure that it's readable. Then whatever you're passing while calling the function, you need to give the variables to be catching what you pass there. So here you're passing the variable rad. So you have a variable called radius to where you assign the value of rad to. Then as you write the main function, write it according to the logic that you have. Here we need to find the area of a circle. So the area is found out by this statement, simple. And return the result, okay? Now coming to the main function. In the main function, I've input the radius from the user, right? Then I've passed it to the function and I've called the function. I've returned the value, taken it to the variable result and just printed the value of result. So simple, right? This is how you define a function, how you call a function in main, and definitely how you get it through. So one important thing again, what I'm stressing here is that any function that you write, anything that you write above or below main doesn't matter. Whatever is it, the execution will always start from main. I repeat, the execution of a C program always starts from main. So here also, whether you write any function above it or thousands of code above it or below it, that doesn't matter. Here, when your C program is compiled and run, what happens is this. The C program encounters main, comes to the first statement, executes this, then again executes this. So rad and result are reserved in the memory, then prints this, right? Scans it into radius rad, calls this function. So again, it goes to the that's when it goes to the execution of this function. So then this statement is executed, then the area is computed, the result or the answer is returned. So it's returned to where? To this place, right? And the returned value is assigned to result and the result is printed. I hope now everything is clear to you. This was a simple function, but I think you've learned quite a lot from this, right? Can I go to the next one? Is the idea of function clear to you? Can I have response in the chats, or you can use your microphone if needed? Okay. What about the others? Function definition താഴെ എഴുതി മുകളിൽ നിന്ന് call ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ? Very good question. You can give the function definition wherever you need, but the problem is that if you give it below main, then you need to do something called function declaration. So I was going to take it after this, right? Function declaration is nothing but telling the compiler that, see, there is a function called area and the definition is below main. So all what you need to give is the return type of the function there, the area there, and how many parameters and what is the data type of parameter there. So this is essentially a function declaration. So if you're defining your function below main, it's not a problem, but make sure that you've given or that you've declared it there before starting the main. Is that clear? Rahul, have I answered you? Okay. Okay, so we'll go back. Okay. Okay, now I think you should be able to read through all this, right? What's the return type? The return type is the data type of the value that the function returns. So if you're not returning anything, you simply give void, that's all. What's the function name? It's the name of the function. Again, it's your wish what name to give, but always make sure that it's readable. What's the parameter? See, again, the parameters like the placeholder, that is when the function is invoked, whatever you pass to the function should be assigned to some parameter, right? So that you can use it in the function. So that's the use of the parameter. Function body is what you write within the function. So see, they have given a simple example of calculating max out of the two numbers. So this is the max is the function name here. The return type is int here. They are taking in two parameters, right? num1 and num2. Defining a local variable here int result as like we have defined area there. Then checking whether which of them is greater, whether num1 or num2 is greater. If num1 is greater, then num1 is stored to the result. If num2 is greater, then num2 is stored to the result. And finally, the result is returned to the place where the function is called. Now, this was the question that Rahul had asked me. What is a function declaration used for? So I think now I won't waste my time there by explaining it again. I've told you what a function declaration is and why is it used, okay? So calling a function, we have elaborated that, right? And function arguments also. Now call by value and call by return, we don't have much time to go into it, but I'll tell you what call by value and call by reference is. Call by value means that you are just copying the value of the variables that you pass from main to other variables that are declared in the function. Whereas call by reference means that you are essentially accessing the same memory space, whether you are in main or whether you are in the function. So you're essentially accessing the same variable, right, and making changes in the same variable. So in call by value, you're just passing it. So it's just a copy that's created there. While in call by reference, it's the same variable that you're accessing. Okay, I hope I've made myself clear. Again, I know that you need to, these are not concepts that you will get by just narrating it. You need to be solving problems. Since I don't have much time to code and show that, I'm really sorry, I'm not doing it now. You can ping me if you have some doubts regarding it. Fine. So now I'll be quickly going to pointers. I'm really running out of time. So what are pointers? Pointers are really interesting concept in C, and you don't actually find it in all the other languages. Like Python doesn't offer the concept of pointers, Java doesn't. So this is one of the powerful key concepts of C. So one answer to why you prefer working in C should be because C allows the use of pointers. So you know how powerful that concept is and why you need it. So for you to know why you actually need it, you need to know why and what are pointers, right? What pointers are actually? Do you have any idea? See, pointers are nothing but the variables that point to the address of some location in memory. Pretty interesting. I'll tell you what it is with a small example, right? Look at this example. See, there is a variable declared as an integer and the value assigned to the variable is 20. Pretty clear, right? Now you see, I have declared a pointer of integer data type. Now, what are pointers? Pointers are nothing but variables that point to some other memory location. Now you see this statement. Carefully observe this statement. You'll understand the concept of pointers then. What IP pointer is doing is, IP pointer stores the address of the memory location variable var. So IP pointer has the address of the memory location var. Okay, so how do you print the address of the variable var? It is ampersand var, right? Whenever you use ampersand before a variable, you'll get the address of that variable. Or now, as you have assigned this address to the pointer IP, you should very well be able to print the address of the variable by just using IP. And also, if you append star before the pointer, you will be able to point to the value that the variable stores. You get me? That is, if you use star IP, you will be able to print 20 here because var stores 20. So again, let me just make it clear to you. IP points to var. So that means that IP contains the memory location or the memory address of var. And whenever you call IP or whenever you print IP, you'll get the memory address of var. And whenever you print star IP, you'll be getting the value that is stored in var. I hope I've made myself clear. Is that fine? Clear, right? Are you clear with the concepts of pointers and functions? Do you need me to repeat anywhere? Or are we good to go with the next topic? I'm really running out of time. So, shall we go with the next topic? Okay, so I'll go with the next topic. Now, I thought of covering the last portions, that is file management and memory management in C. So memory management, we have already discussed about the static memory management. Right, regarding the dynamic memory management in C, I don't need this anymore. Okay, so regarding the dynamic memory management in C, it's again done by using pointers. So you can use, there are a lot of functions available like malloc, which is used for allocating memory in a dynamic manner. Then for freeing memory, you can use free. So there are a lot of functions there available in C and CPP as well, because both of them use pointers. So one advantage of using pointers is in dynamic memory allocation. That's because, see, what do you mean by dynamic memory allocation? I hope all of you are aware of that. Dynamic memory allocation means during the running of the program, you are allocating the memory. That is dynamic memory allocation. So there, what happens is that not always during coding, you know how much memory is to be allocated for the variables that you're declaring and the numbers that you're storing. So sometimes it may happen that you may not be able to allocate memory statically. So what do you do then? So that's where the concept of pointers come into picture. There are other use cases, of course. So here what happens is that with pointers, you can give the memory that you need to. So maybe when you're declaring it in a static manner, you may give more memory space than required, or you may often fall in short of the memory space required. So all those things can be made efficient with the use of pointers. So that's about dynamic memory allocation. Again, there are a lot of things to be told, but I am running short of time. File management in C, let me just brief about that too. So I think you might have learned about it in your KTU syllabus, how are files managed in C, and how do you go about opening a file. Then you can open it in various modes, read, write, or append. There are a lot of modes in which you can open a file. Then how do you work with a file? That's essentially using a file pointer again. So I would love to be coding and showing all of that to you, but unfortunately we don't have the time for it. So I think I'll share the resources required for file and memory management, right? That's those, and functions and pointers also. I couldn't go in depth. Again, this is just a 3 days boot camp. So, and just 6 hours is what we get essentially. So that's pretty much from me, and I'm going to wind up. But before that, how was the session, like the 3 days? Did you all enjoy? Can I get responses in the chat? Okay. I think we just dragged a bit in the digit frequency question, but I'm sure that all those tips that we did during that time will be very much helpful for you, because debugging is a skill that you need to develop, right? I think we just went over and explored the code. We checked where the error was, and definitely we did learn how to debug too. Okay, so try your best, and my last message that I leave you with is only this: never give up, right? Whatever you're doing, give your fullest to whatever you're doing, and definitely you will emerge successful one day. So anything from others? Rahul, thank you so much for your comment. It means a lot indeed. Okay, thank you for all your feedbacks. It means a lot, whether they're constructive or otherwise. I love to hear your feedbacks, and that's how I can grow as an individual, right? So any parting messages that you would like to give me before I leave? Anything that you want to ask me, want to know about me before I leave? You can connect me via LinkedIn, and you can pick me and feel free to ask your doubts regarding the concepts that I've taken, right? And don't call me ma'am. I think I'll be just 2 or 3 years elder to you. Even otherwise, call me by my name, right? That would be comfortable. Yes, so I'm working. I've just started working at IBM. I'm a 2022 graduate from MES College of Engineering, the college that is hosting the webinar, right? So I've just started my career with IBM, and it's just 2 or 3, it's the 3rd week that's going on. My job role, okay. My job role is software developer as of now, but the trainings are completed and we are getting assigned to our jobs. So it might fluctuate in the beginning, right? And I would like to pursue software developer as my career as of now. Housework. Yeah, it's a bit overwhelming in the beginning, right? But I am, as you all are looking forward to working and, that life, I was also in your shoes one day. And so if you ask my emotions now, I'm really excited, but at the same time, to be honest, very overwhelmed by the work, work and the kind of stacks they use, right? But the work culture there is awesome, I must say that. Masters, G and plan and all. Teaching is something that I'm passionate about, and something that I was passionate about from the beginning of my graduate studies, at least, or even before that. So I have plans to do masters, but as of now, what I'm looking ahead to is to know how the industry works, to explore the stacks that they use there,